All right, that song was called Ninjas, composed by Frederick Weidman. And don't let me deceive you, that song is not from the movie we're reviewing. That song is from Son of Batman. That is the first animated movie that we got Damian Wayne in. But you know what? I couldn't find any songs from Batman Ninja, and that's probably for the better. Dylan, how you doing today?
I'm existing. I was having a great day.
What changed?
Half of this movie.
I was pontificating earlier before you arrived here.
Was it actually before or before I came up the stairs?
It was before
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Before my 30 minutes of sitting in the car.
Yeah, before your bizarre 30 minutes sitting in the car, instead of just coming up.
I was really distracted by my game.
That's fair. I was thinking about something that, it might apply to this movie. But I was thinking about like a classic dilemma. Mm-hmm. Because this was actually spawned about because I rewatched the trailer for Acolyte, the new Star Wars property coming out.
Good trailer, good trailer. I watched that at lunch the other day.
I watched that trailer again, and it got me thinking because unfortunately, with kind of anything Disney, even if it looks good, you gotta be weary, And I was thinking to myself, it led me down a train of thoughts, but it ended up at like, is it better to have a bad plot with good characters or well-written characters, or should I say bad characters and a well-written plot?
That I feel like that connects to this movie. That question. I'm gonna say it. I feel like it's a case-by-case thing. I feel like it's a case-by-case thing.
That's fair. I was thinking about it, and for me, like there was a movie that came to mind, and it's either really good or really bad. I don't remember what it was now, but I was like, there are cases where I can see like a movie being having a really strong plot, but I remember now. I don't know if you've seen this. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino movie. It stars Leo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt.
And let me see if I can see some visuals of it really quick.
Yeah, I think it was his latest movie. Came out a few years back now.
No, I have not.
Yeah, it. And this is kind of a hot take because, generally speaking, pretty much everyone loves the movie, except for me. Like, I think that, the setting is really interesting. It takes place in, like, the 70s. Yeah, 1970s. And it's about, like...
I said 1989 when I pulled up the
Oh, did it? Oh, maybe it is the 80s then. That's weird. I thought it would be the 70s.
It said 19-something. Let me pull it
back up. It takes place in the 1900s.
Oh, 1969. The 6 looked a lot like an 8 with the font.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, 70s.
Okay.
Well, just about.
Just about. Yeah, it was around the time of the whole Roman Polanski thing. I don't know if you know that guy. He was a director. I think he directed Rosemary's Baby. But anyways, like he's a real piece of shit.
Okay.
Because that director, like in real life, he sexually assaulted a 15-year-old child, and
shit.
To avoid charges, he fled the country, and so he never got prosecuted. So yeah. But anyways, like he's also connected to like the Manson murders as well.
Okay.
Because his pregnant girlfriend was actually murdered by people who Charles Manson had sent, to that home. So yeah, it's a whole thing. Like the movie, it fictionalizes that a little bit. But it's mostly, it's not even really about that. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's just about like an out of work stuntman, Leo, and his cohort, Brad Pitt's character. And it's like,
it's a weird name.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's character. Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, the characters were a weird family.
Okay.
But they don't really, nothing really happens in that movie. It's just it's a series of events that culminates with a thing.
All right, I've seen movies kind of like that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the end of the movie, I was like, I really enjoyed a lot of the characters, but Jesus Christ, the plot was damn near non-existent. It had a setting, sure, but I can't really say that the movie was about anything. Now, I'm sure that people have watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and they maybe derived things from it, and they maybe taken away certain things from it, and said, "Hey, no, there is something. This movie is about something." But I think just because you can maybe piecemeal together some of your own ideas and say that it's about something, doesn't necessarily mean that it's about anything. I think it was just Quentin Tarantino doing Quentin Tarantino shit. It was almost like I don't know. It didn't really feel like it had any kind of rhyme or rhythm to it. But for me, that's an example of a movie that had really good characters and just really no plot. Had a cool setting, an interesting setting. Nothing really happened though.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, would I like a movie like that, or would I prefer a movie that, like, I don't know,
has a pretty interesting setting.
strong plot, but
very strong, large plot.
yeah, but just lackluster characters. Man, for that, I mean, I'd almost have to go for like the latest season of True Detective. I don't know if you're a True Detective fan or not.
I have not. I have not partaken.
You've not partaken. Partake in season 1. Season 1 is really strong. Okay. It's phenomenal. Season 3 is also very good. This season, it started off really good, and then it just dove off a cliff. But yeah,
Pete, I might be taking a jump here, but since you're asking me about this, and it's True Detective, is this like an old Detective Comics style thing, or is this just a happenstance on name?
Oh yeah, one would think that it's about, but no, it's just a happenstance name.
Oh, okay.
It's an anthology series of sorts.
Okay.
Yeah, really interesting show. Season 1, again, one of the best seasons of television out there. Anyways, seeing that this podcast, in a nutshell, it really is about the art of storytelling.
True. Yeah.
And I was like, man, if I had to choose between one, strong plot, weak character, strong plot, what would I choose? And the answer is a definitive, there is no winning.
Yeah.
Because if you have strong characters, right, and a weak plot, the problem with the weak plot is it's going to drive down the strong characters.
True.
And that usually leads to the characters just being plot devices, right?
Yeah.
And so your characters are going to end up doing shit that doesn't make sense, but they do it just for the sake of the plot. Or something just as bad, they become reactionary characters, which means they just react to the random shit that happens to happen to them. Mm-hmm. And then on the flip side, if you have good characters but a bad plot, well, it's just going to be like nothing really ever happens. Because even though they're strong characters, they're just brought down by like a poor plot. So nothing ever really happens there. It's a sad case, and I think that pretty much everyone has seen something to that extent that kind of fits that description. But man, it was a dilemma that I could not figure out, a conundrum of sorts that I couldn't figure out when I was sitting on the toilet earlier.
How did this movie do both of those things at the same time?
This movie that we're about to review does a lot of things at the same time.
You're not wrong.
There's a lot of things at the same time.
So the reason I was nodding so much while you're saying that is I was thinking about this movie as I was doing it. I was like, oh yeah, it does that. It does that. And then you flip to the other side. I was like, oh, but it also does that. Mm-hmm. What the hell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's the interesting thing about what we do for part of this podcast is we have very little time to digest these movies.
It came right in here.
Oh yeah. And that's usually how it goes. Most of the time, whether it be in theaters or in the living room, we watch a movie and then we come here and then it's like, well, what do I think about this?
Yeah, immediate.
And tonight is no different. But I got to kick things off properly here. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to another very special, interesting episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, And tonight I am here with my good friend, the homie Dylan. Dylan,
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Dylan, you are my anime expert. The man who knows all about every single anime in existence. He has seen every episode of One Piece several times over. He can tell you the backstory on every character in Naruto. He and another fun fact, he actually co-wrote the movie we're discussing here tonight. So, yeah.
Those are sentences that you can say, yes.
And I said them, yeah.
Oddly enough, the only one of those that was at least moderately true is the One Piece one. Because I restarted it like 3 times.
God damn. See, I knew that one was gonna be close when I said it, so I said, let me take it a step further.
So could you say the second one again for me? The name of that second anime?
Naruto? Naruto? What the fuck is it called? Naruto?
No, that's it. That's 100% it.
Hey, fuck you.
It's Naruto.
That's what I said. That's what the fuck I said.
Me and like 5 of your fans that watch this anime just died. Holy shit. Naruto.
Hey,
Buddy,
man.
I love you, but I could not. Oh, fuck.
Hey, you can let that slide.
If I had not laughed immediately, I would have tried so hard.
Yes. Okay. Anime is not my forte. I do like anime, but clearly I don't know a whole lot about it.
We have said this before, actually. I think either on the first anime one you had me in here for, or the second one. I mean, it was the same movie either way. The Justice League X Ruby. I'm not saying the whole name. That
Superheroes and the Huntsman Part 1.
or 2.
Or 2.
Is that you? I feel like you either can when you're born you get 2 paths.
Yep.
Either comic books or anime, because they will consume all the time.
Yep.
And you chose comic books, and I chose anime.
Yep.
And we like the other side of it.
It's just there's not enough time.
There's not.
There's really not enough time. Yeah, and DC, the fine folks over there, decided to merge the 2 fandoms. They decided to do it again. First, they decided to do it with this movie, and then they decided to try it again with Justice League X Ruby, Superhero and Huntsman.
Part 1 and 2.
Yep.
You know, if you would have told me that those were made first and this would have been made after, I'd actually understand that a little more. Because like those ones were like, who the fuck is this for? This one, actually, we said this when we sat down and watched it. That this one, I can at least kind of understand who they made it for.
Yeah.
And it's attempted to like breach the 2 of them. Somebody kind of asked for this because Batman's a ninja.
Yeah.
They want, Ninja Batman.
Right.
In anime form. Because yeah.
You're right. So, like, the whole concept of Batman Ninja makes a lot more sense than
Justice League and Ruby crossover.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that, again, is just... that still boggles the mind. I have no idea how that came about. Before we really get things going there, again, we've already done this once, but I feel like in the spirit of tonight's episode, it should probably be done again. I want to give a special shout out and pay condolences to Akira Toriyama.
Oh, yes, yes.
While I may not consume a lot of anime, one that I have watched extensively is the whole Dragon Ball saga. Dragon Ball Z. I even watched GT. Dragon Ball Super. A ton of the movies. I am a really big fan of that franchise, and it's really, really sad and unfortunate to hear the passing of their creator. So, Mr. Toriyama, you have brought me many wonderful memories, and your legacy will live on for all the days. Indubitably. Well, with that being said, we have a movie to review.
It's at least part of a movie, yeah.
Yeah. Batman Ninja. So, here's the thing. I thought about this, and I figured it'd just be better to spring this on you here live on the podcast, Dylan.
Of course.
And that is, I thought about doing a spoiler-free and spoiler-filled section. No, the whole thing is going to be spoiler-filled. This movie is 6 years old. If you wanted to see it, you'd have sent it.
That's fair, actually. Plus, we actually talked about this beforehand, that, like, this would be the shortest spoiler-free section. We would say, like, 3 things and be like, all right, that's it, guys. That's all you get.
So, we'll still give you our review at the end, and we'll still tell you all of our thoughts on it, obviously, but there's no way to really break down this movie adequately without just going through some of the weird shit that happens in this movie.
I think the only thing I could really say would be, like, if you want to see some weird anime shit, watch the first half of this. And you can just turn it off once the animation style gets real weird. You'll know.
Mm-hmm. You'll notice.
And if you want, I mean, you'll still wonder, but that's probably better than watching the rest of it. So, I mean, that would be technically the only thing I could really say spoiler-free.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing. Like, I can tell you guys that I do think that, for the most part, the animation is really crisp in this. And I think it's really clean. And when you see Batman doing Batman stuff, especially in anime form, it's really fun to see. Like, it's really cool. Most of the last fight scene is done really well.
Oh yeah,
but
you're
then
there's the last fight scene.
The last fight scene, yeah. But then it's marred by a few moments of what the fuck happened.
We actually paused, went back 3 times.
Yep, and couldn't figure it out.
No, there was no explanation. It should not have happened.
None. You get a nice meaty roster of people from the Bat universe, so it's not just like a handful, but you get probably a good 8 characters, albeit people like Poison Ivy and Deathstroke don't really get a whole lot to do at all, but
like 4 scenes.
Yeah.
Penguin too.
Same thing with Penguin. Yeah, those 3 really don't get a whole lot, but I feel like for the most part, Batman and the Robins get a good bit. Even Alfred gets a few good scenes. Catwoman.
I really wanted one of Robin's to not get more scenes.
Oh my goodness! So you know what, we're gonna get there. So to start things off, Dylan, what are kind of some of your vague overall thoughts and feelings on this movie?
Confliction. So much confliction, because like as the meme goes, they had us in the first half.
Yep.
Like as you said at the start, or before we started this, it was the movie lulled us into a false sense of security. We were tensed at the start of it because we were like, oh, I've heard some rough things about this. Mm-hmm. And then as it went along, we relaxed and we were like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't that bad. It's a little over the top. It's pretty anime. Like, guys, it's really anime.
Oh yeah.
But that was before it even got wildly anime.
Before it got offensively tropey almost.
Yeah, actually, that's a good way of putting it. But when the animation style changed hard, is when you're like, oh no, I needed to stay tensed. This isn't good, and it just punches you.
Yeah, and because there's no spoiler free section here. We're talking about like the Red Hood scene. So they mentioned Red Hood a couple times, but once we get to his scene, that's when that tonal shift happens. And
then the actual entire art changed.
Yeah, the actual art changes for his segment for some odd reason. And then after that, it switches back to the former art style, but the tone of the movie and like what the movie's going for completely shifts. And in our opinion, not really for the better.
Yeah.
So to kind of start things off here, I thought that this movie, kind of like you, had a lot of potential in the first half. It's only 85 minutes long, right? And so it starts off at a breakneck pace.
It feels so much longer.
It does, right? That's the weird part about it. It's 85 minutes, and that's including the credits.
Yeah.
So you probably get 80 minutes of actual, Batman Ninja. And the movie...
Really, you get about 3 minutes of Batman Ninja.
Oh, well.
That's the very fucking end.
The very fucking end, yeah. But in terms of actual movie, yeah, you get like an hour and 20 minutes worth. And it's weird because you're right. The movie does feel longer than that. But at the same time, they're moving at such a fast pace.
That is very anime of it. Anime does that kind of shit. And they actually, they did that well.
Yeah.
At no point was I ever like, what the fuck has happened? Well, I was like that. But pacing wise, I was never like, what the fuck is happening? How did they get to this point?
Yeah.
It was more of a, oh, well, they're doing that fucking thing. And then eventually, whenever all the random shit happens, which I'm not trying to dance around, I just can't explain it all. Mm-hmm. And then you're just like, what? That's the only way I can describe it. What?
Oh, yeah. So, in terms of the plot, and I was telling you this earlier off mic, it's basically Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Yeah. And
I think it's called I think it's called Turtles in Time, something like that. And it's when the turtles literally get teleported back to feudal Japan.
Which is it's very accurate because Batman and friends, mark, get sent back to fucking feudal Japan.
Yeah.
Which, much like whenever they did Batman in Ruby, or Justice League X Ruby, Heroes and Huntsman, Superheroes and Huntsman, part 1 or 2, Batman seems dumber.
Yeah.
And, like, I understand kind of why, because, like, they had him, quote, ask the questions for the audience, unquote. But
right.
I feel like he still could have said it in a better way and not be as dumb. Like, buddy, if you show up in feudal Japan, you're not going to be like, where am I? Wait like a minute. This isn't Japanese. I must be in feudal Japan. Nah, dude, it looks like feudal Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of see that part I give a slight pass because I'm thinking if I spend all my life in one city basically.
I mean, yeah, you're fair on that. You're fair on that.
And then, something happens, I black out and open my eyes again and I look around and like, this shit is interesting.
Yeah, no.
And I mean, like, and to the movie's credit, it wasn't like he had multiple scenes before he was like, I'm in feudal Japan.
Yeah, it was immediate, but it was just like I was just like, damn it, Batman would have really picked up on that a little faster, I feel like. But, I mean, that was forgivable. I agree with you.
Now, there are other things he does in this movie that is pretty dumb of him.
Like every interaction he has with a villain.
Yeah, and it's almost like it's kind of like Batman basics. And again, like on one hand, I understand what they were trying to do with it, but on the other hand, it's like it almost makes it feel like Batman is still new to encountering some of these villains in terms of like what they do and
like even though he brings it up.
Yeah. Like, why are you surprised that any of these villains or characters betrayed you? Or why are you surprised that Joker is doing Joker shit again?
Yeah. Joker I will say, Joker is very Joker in this movie.
Because I think that the Joker persona lends well to the crazed anime antagonist.
Guy, yeah, it really does. It really does. Harley was, and this is coming from me, somebody who watches a lot of anime.
Yeah,
Harley was oddly sexual.
Wow.
And the reason I bring that, I'm not saying that that kind of stuff doesn't happen in anime, but normally the tone of the anime lets you know that kind of shit's gonna happen. That, like, if you're having a slice of life, there's gonna be some cutesy stuff, but it's not gonna have a random fucking character in the background making bedroom eyes at Batman from like 30 feet away.
So I think that comes down to the fact that there's kind of a weird disconnect between Batman from the comics and then putting that in anime, because certain characteristics don't translate that well. And Harley being a sexual creature is one of those things, probably.
That's fair, I guess. You know what? I haven't brought it up yet, but it might also come down to that list. That list I said.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm pretty sure what happened with this movie was they hired somebody who knew about anime, which, I mean, you actually said the list of people who worked on this, and I really thought it was going to be an entirely different sounding name list. Mm-hmm. But I felt like they just hired somebody to give them like a list of shit that happens in anime. And once they got that list, they just fired the person and then went down that list.
It's kind of what it seems like, right? It seems like they were like, all right, so, we here at DC Studios, we need someone to come in and make us an anime. So, Mr. What you say your name was again? Maybe looking it up here.
So you had it a second ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Nakashima, or Mr. Mizusaki, the screenplay writer and the director. What are some things that go into a traditional anime? And
he gave him a list. He was like, there's got to be fighting. There's got to be
super fast paced.
Super fast paced, really cool.
Yeah,
Hits.
physics, laws of physics breaking type.
Yeah. There's got to be a fight on the water. There's got to be
Blur fighting.
Yep. There's got to be. We said all these earlier. There's got to be a fight through a town.
Oh, yep.
Always. That spans the whole town.
And it's like the list gets more unreasonable for the movie as it goes on.
Oh, like in some anime, you have like a mech fight. Like, oh, cool.
Oh,
cool.
Say that again?
A mech fight, yeah.
A mech? Fuck,
like,
write that down.
Like a kaiju fight with mechs.
We will do both of those.
You don't need to do both of those.
We are doing all of this in this movie. Thank you.
We listed like 8 different tropes.
Yep.
That should not cross in the same movie.
Here's what's interesting, right? I don't know if this would be better or worse, or maybe it would just make me smile and cringe. But one thing, well, there's a lot of things wrong with the movie Morbius.
I still haven't seen it.
Keep it that way. But one thing that both me and the homie Caleb and the homie Kevin, like one thing that we all got a kick out of, and like the most cringy what the fuck way, is during the big climactic fight in Morbius. He's getting his ass whooped and he summons a bunch of bats. And then he powers up and he does a bat Kamehameha. And we were all like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
That's, yeah. And we're like, we had to look at each other like, hey, did you just see what just happened there? And I'm like, was that a missed opportunity for Batman Ninja?
He never did.
He never did.
There was
one moment.
Close.
Yeah. I thought he was at one point, but he doesn't do it.
Which actually, all right. So the possible few, because I don't want to like make assumptions about your fan base. Maybe somebody out there had time to do both comics and anime. You are stronger than me.
Oh yeah,
and have more money than me.
Yeah,
I gotta go to a job.
Yeah, about to say, what do you do for work?
But at the very end, because it's really weird just not doing a spoiler-free section. Like at the very end, and we're jumping, but when Batman just starts throwing fucking ninja signs out.
Yeah.
But then does nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh shit, is he gonna like breathe fire? Is he gonna like fucking like shadow clone or some shit? Like, what's he about to do? Is he about to do all that shit and then, I don't know, Kamehameha,
Right.
Just fuck it, why not?
And it's like, at that point in the movie, would that be more ridiculous or would it be accepted?
I would have just been like, oh shit, this is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because at that point.
But then he just punches the shit out of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't even like do a power up like energy wave thing. No, he just
he does catch his second wind, remember, because like during like phase 1 of the boss fight, it's pretty neck and neck between him and Joker.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then Joker hits his second phase, and then
Joker hits his third phase.
Something like that.
It was like a half phase.
Yeah. But then once Batman eliminates the swords, then it's like Batman hits his Super Saiyan. You know?
Yeah. Well, no. Batman had to get not stabbed in the chest.
Well, he was whooping Joker's ass, and then
so the part that we were like, we were confused about. So Batman breaks this sword in half, right?
Yeah.
Cool. We see the hilt still. Batman no longer has the front of the blade, like the last end of it. Mm-hmm. And then he, smacks the hilt out of Joker's hand. The hilt hits the ground. He fucking flips Joker, hits him on the top of the thing. It's cool as fuck. Joker starts laughing, and then from the smoke, off screen, the blade flies in and stabs Batman. Where the fuck did it come from?
So we had to pause, then we talked about it, then we rewound.
Twice.
Yeah, watched it 2 more times. It didn't make any sense.
There's no way it could have gotten up there.
Yeah.
Because it would have had to go up the fucking slope of the roof.
And so we were extremely confident that there's a third party off screen and they're gonna it's Harley or somebody, they're gonna show up. No.
And then it doesn't happen, and then Batman's just there in a slightly different outfit.
Yeah, so after Batman is stabbed, quote unquote, he falls off of the roof of the burning building and into the fiery abyss.
Which is very anime, but
yeah. And then Joker is laughing at his victory, and then Batman is behind him.
Whispering sweet nothings in his fucking ear.
Unscathed.
Just fine. And stronger? Like he never fought at all? And then he also just magically has the fucking ninja bat magic shit. Mm-hmm. And then he learns how to actually fly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because he flies there long enough to do like 12 fucking hand signs. Mm-hmm. And then just starts smacking him.
Yeah, it was and that's the weird part about this, right? Because like that last fight scene was actually pretty good.
It was cool.
Yeah. Up until they just started skipping frames. Maybe
I feel like we're missing a scene.
yeah. The animators were like, I don't feel like drawing this part.
Yeah, fuck it.
They can figure it out. The blade Joker has telekinesis and he telekinetically threw the blade back at Batman. But then Batman has
Bat powers.
yeah.
Like actual ninja bat powers.
Yes, he has extreme powers of theatricality and deception.
So I legitimately, as we were watching this, I legitimately was fine with them even pulling the fucking castle mech bullshit for the Arkham mobile castle thing. I was like, that's way over the top. We laughed about it, but we were like, haha, that's the worst this movie's gonna give us. It's got to be. We were so wrong.
We were so off, right? So I tell you what, for some people, for those of you who have not seen this movie, let's give like a chunk by chunk.
Okay, that's for the best because this is probably
yeah.
way more confusing than it
Right.
is. But
The
they
movie is
think we're being
confusing.
more confusing than it is.
Right.
So at the start, Gorilla Grodd, and sorry for just taking the lead on this.
Oh,
one,
go ahead.
Gorilla Grodd was working on a time machine. You don't find that out for a little bit, but it's pretty in the first chunk. He was working on a time machine. He was gonna fucking yeet the other villains to a different time and then take over Gotham, which you brought up. All right, but you still have all of the fucking
Very short-sighted plan.
all of the good guys are still there to beat your ass.
Yeah, your superhero, the Flash, is gonna.
Yeah, he's just gonna done.
Yeah.
So we find out that everybody and their fucking mother was at Grodd's place. Granted, he invited the villains, but everybody else was also fucking there, including Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred was
some
in the
reason.
Batmobile for reasons
chilling.
undisclosed. Yeah, Catwoman, the Robins. Yeah,
All of them. Mm-hmm. I think. Is it all of them? All of them?
it was. Yeah, all of them. Nightwing, Tim Drake, Damian, and Red Hood. They were all there.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
And then, turns out somehow Batman was transported through. So they thwarted Grodd.
Yep.
Shocker. And some time bullshit happened. Okay. Batman, for some reason, was put back in time 2 years after the rest of them showed up.
After everyone else, maybe we missed something, but this is probably like the missing blade.
So I think, yes, probably. But I think it might actually have to do with the fact that Batman was kicked out of the building when it went off. So he was technically further back.
Oh, okay.
I'm stretching here.
Yeah.
But
okay.
him getting back towards it is why that distance, whatever, they got ported first. Time bullshit happened. He got ported, and in the grand mapping, that was a 2 year difference. That's how I'm gonna explain that to help my brain.
That I like that explanation because it's better than anything the movie gave us.
Yes.
Because everyone else is there 2 years earlier than Bruce.
Yeah. But we assume.
Yeah, we assume.
Only one person really says it, and then she said Catwoman specifically.
Well, we have to assume that the villains were as well because they set up bases and they have.
And that takes a little
yeah. Joker built a Met Castle,
Well, they all built fucking Met.
That's
We're
true.
getting ahead. We're getting ahead. Okay. So he shows up. Catwoman shows up with, she never brings it back out.
The hand
weird
puppet. Cat puppet.
I mean, it was kind of cute, but then she stands up and you find the plot of this movie. And, she brings Alfred over, which Batman's perception just goes out the window for this.
Oh,
as
yeah.
he doesn't notice fucking Alfred stand next to him for 3 minutes.
And he even speaks.
Yeah, like...
Your tea, sir.
Like
how
who the
many?
fuck?
How many? Proper Englishmen do you expect to run into feudal Japan who says your tea, sir?
Or just in general.
Yeah, in general, yeah.
But he also is surprised by the fact it's black tea instead of green tea, which fair. But how are you going to pick that up? But
Before
not your
you
butler?
realize that Alfred is here, yeah,
Basically your father.
yeah. And then not only that, but Alfred also, because Alfred apparently was in the Batmobile, and he and the Batmobile both got yeeted through time in feudal Japan, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
the
there was
Batmobile
Batmobiles
is, and they had to have built that building around the Batmobile,
For
right?
sure. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because you're not gonna park the Batmobile inside one of those, one of those homes.
In fact, I don't know how they would have gotten it out. Because I want to say it was downstairs. No, it wasn't downstairs.
No,
When it blew
yeah.
up, it was there. But, there was no door big enough.
No, Absolutely not.
Granted, Batman's ran through buildings before.
And this one was no different.
No. Well,
This
he
one,
didn't actually run through this one.
he didn't? Oh, and it blew
he got
up.
cannoned.
That's right, he got cannoned.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
found out the Joker is a shogun, a feudal lord, and he's increased the tech from like just feudal tech to better cannons.
Yep.
Granted, I'm not a huge history buff, but I think they did have cannons.
I feel like they did.
Because cannons are kind of old, but he brought Gatling guns to the mix.
Yeah.
Which, like really good Gatling guns. But he just blows that up, and then Batman immediately just takes the Batmobile, does Batmobile things all the way through the fucking town.
And again, this is very anime, like you said.
Very anime.
But it's very cool.
Yeah, it at this point we were relaxing. We were like, oh shit, this is kind of cool. It's doing anime tropes, but those are all forgivable anime tropes.
And we've seen a couple of Batman fights when he beats up henchmen, and those are always fun too.
Oh yeah, like I'll rewind the time a smidgen. Whenever he first shows up, 3 Joker samurai dudes show up. We call them that because they had Joker masks on. And the first one that runs by, he just neck chops and he drops. It took 0.5 seconds. That dude was done.
Yeah. Never see him again. He was out.
I think he might have died.
But that's when like another kind of dumb Batman moment happens. One that you gotta assume they do just for the sake of the plot, I guess. But Batman goes, "Who are you working for?"
Yeah.
With these guys who are wearing
massive Joker masks. Who are you working for? Buddy, are you sure?
Catwoman.
You're lying. But as he's going up to the castle,
in the Batmobile.
Joker then says activate the Arkham Castle or something, the mobile Arkham Castle, and it turns into half a mech. And we were like, there's no way they're pulling a mech into this. But it was still understandable. I was like, this is the over-the-top part. It's funny.
See, here's where I got worried. I was like, this shit is ridiculous, And I'm like, okay, I'm going to calm down. But then I got worried again because I realized we hadn't even hit the halfway point of the movie yet.
We were at like maybe a third.
Yeah, maybe 20, 25-ish minutes.
I don't even think it was a third of the movie. Yeah. And then, he goes through his various different forms of bat transport. The 3 of them.
Yep.
But
And this all, again, is very cool.
Technically, there was 4.
Oh, my gosh. You're right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Around here is where I started calling things because I know anime tropes.
And that's why I said Dylan co-wrote this movie.
I called a quarter of this movie.
You did.
So, as the Batmobile's going around, you see a few scenes where you get like a snippet of it very quick, because the Batman was just floating around. And I looked over at Ace. I was like, Ace, I really hope I'm wrong about this, but that looks like there's hands around that wheel on the front. And action happened, so I stopped. But I was going to be like, I really hope he doesn't turn into like a mech suit or something. And lo and behold, like 2 minutes later, to fight, actually, where the fuck
it was Bane.
Yeah, but where did he go?
Bane might have died. He might have been. So what happens is that Batman, he takes the Batmobile, right? Cool as shit Batmobile, does like fucking 80 miles per hour underwater,
Oh, yeah.
Comes up, barrels through a bunch of henchmen, and there's like this windy path leading up to Castle Joker.
Yep.
And along the way, like they throw down like caltrops to kind of take out the tires.
Batman magnetizes his bumper and gets that shit up. Joker's like, of course, the old magnetized bumper tray. I was like, first off, if you know that was going to happen, why would you do it?
Right.
Secondly, I don't remember this ever happening before.
yeah, this is new for me. But I'll take it.
Yeah, whatever.
And then that's when like the fucking
the mech house.
The mech house
grabs and breaks the car.
Yep. But then it only breaks a part of it because the other half of it becomes like a one-man bat jet. And I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool.
The bat jet.
Yeah.
I've seen something like that happen before in some of the animated things. All right, cool. And then that gets like anime gauntlet spike skewered.
Yep.
And you were like, what's he going to do now? And I was like, oh, no, he's got another vehicle in there. And you were like, what? And then fucking Batmobile.
They straight up Dark Knighted us. And then the Bat Pod,
Is that what it's called? I was trying to figure out what the fuck to call it. I keep wanting to say mobile. The Bat bipedal vehicle. The Bat motorcycle.
Yep, the good old Bat Pod. So he gets that, and I'm like, oh, cool, okay.
But that's normally where it stops.
Yeah, you got nothing else.
Yeah, like,
it's a motorcycle now, you know.
But I saw the hands on the front of it, and I was like, please no, please no, please no.
And then he goes
Joker
down
does
to
Joker things, and says, "Are you going to kill me or stop me, or are you going to save that the woman and child down there?" And he flips a switch for the hand to slam down. And here's where my first real grievance with the movie popped up. Mm-hmm. Because yes, Batman would have gone and saved that woman and child, 150%. But he would have also thrown some gadget at least at Joker. And he just doesn't. Yeah. He just leaves Joker there to do whatever the fuck Joker wants. And as he's going through the air, first off, falls faster than the moving hand.
Giant moving mech hand, yeah.
But anime logic, sure, I guess. We'll stretch that one a little further. And as he hits Sumo Bane and gets thrown, I thought he was just going to hop off the fucking bike and like get to the kids and let Bane get smacked. But no, I guess not. Mm-mm. He turns the bike into an Iron Man suit, basically.
Yep. It looks like the Bat version of the Hulkbuster almost.
What it actually looks like to me is there was a Transformers show. An animated not an anime, but an animated, like a cartoon Transformers show. Where it was like a bike or something.
Yeah.
And a person puts it on. It looked exactly like that. Almost. Well, not exactly, but like that's what sparked in my brain. And I was like, holy shit.
And I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I get it. Batman is the king of contingencies. But this shit is over the top. So, it was a few minutes before this, right? When I said to you, this movie is fueled by two things: all things anime and the rule of cool. And you said the same thing twice.
I mean, yeah, that's it. They get called two different things, but they're very that line is hair thin.
Mm-hmm. So if you're expecting like logic of any sort, you gotta check that shit at the door.
Yeah, just put it in a little bag and put it down.
Yep.
If you're looking for a whole lot of fights, watch this movie. It's got some cool fight scenes in it. For sure.
Yeah, and that's what this movie is. It's like a collection of interesting scenes and cool moments. It reminds me of is back in, I think, the 70s, maybe the 80s. Us Americans, I want to say this first. Us as Americans have shitted on so many amazing Japanese intellectual properties.
Oh, for sure.
Godzilla is definitely one of them. At the Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball Evolution movie. So we have definitely shat on some very historic Japanese IPs. But they've also have returned the favor. Back in, I think it was the 70s or 80s, they made a Spider-Man live-action TV show.
Did they?
Oh, yeah. He gets a mech.
Of course he would get a mech. Of course he would get a mech. Why would he get a mech?
What would Spider-Man have a mech?
Was it a spider?
No.
Why wouldn't it be a spider? Just make it a spider. Did it at least have more hands?
Pretty sure it just had the two. Definitely recommend that you and the homies just give that a quick Google when you get a chance.
I'm looking it up.
This live action Japanese Spider-Man show. It was fucking ridiculous. Which is saying something because America had their own version of, a live action Spider-Man. I think it was a TV show or a movie.
The costume doesn't look bad.
It looks like a costume you get from like Halloween City.
Okay, that one does look bad. The closed picture one doesn't look nearly as bad.
You gotta find the mech.
Oh no, I see it. Oh no. He had a car too.
Yeah, he had a car too,
Neither of them look like spiders. That's just a net. He just actually shot a net out of him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting this down.
Yeah.
If you try to get me to watch that, I'll use my best. I refuse. That is the most fucking.
Oh yeah.
What did we call it? It was super something.
Oh.
Super. Not Power Rangers, the OG that Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, it was called Super Sentai.
Super something like that.
I
That's just something I could never get behind. Granted,
yeah,
over there, I'm pretty sure they actually killed people.
probably.
And like it actually got like dubbed over really roughly over here, I think, for a good chunk of it. Even
Yeah.
Power Rangers was, I think. I could be wrong on that though. I really don't know a lot about them.
All right, yeah, it is Super Sentai.
Let me see. Huh? Yeah. Man,
Super Sentai. I just made up that thing.
I can't tell if you're wrong.
But the only reason I brought up that that Spider-Man
yeah.
TV show, I mean, is because I feel like a lot of those same elements were brought to this animated movie, and they could do more because it's animated. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were just at the point where the mobile house,
Yeah.
was about to drop the hand on like this innocent lady that turned out to be Harley Quinn
Batman ends up catching the hand
with the motorcycle mech suit of his.
and he gets ejected out of it, saying no for some reason.
It was all Dark Knight. Like the plane turning into the motorcycle. That
Yeah,
was
it really
the,
was. It
that was
really
the,
was.
Yeah, that was the Batmobile turning into the Batpod.
Yeah.
And the mech suit saying goodbye in the Dark Knight before the mech suit explodes. I mean, before the Batmobile explodes, the computer says,
Oh, it does.
yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. And then, much like always happens, in the end, it was Harley the entire time, and she just beats the shit out of him with a comically large hammer.
Yep.
Which, point one of Batman doing Batman things against Joker doing Joker things, 100%. And then it actually looked like Batman was just lost, which is also weird because he didn't like try anymore.
Yeah, it was weird, right? Because the way that the cowl was, you can't tell when Batman has his eyes closed. So it's like, are you conscious or are you?
Like, you out? And then he talked.
And then he
And
talked.
I was like, oh shit! Okay.
So you're just sitting there right now.
So you're just chilling, like you get hit one time by Harley and you're done.
Right.
I don't like you actually haven't taken any hits until this point. He hadn't.
Yeah, no, he really hadn't. Yeah,
Granted, I mean, if I got hit with that fucking hammer,
that's
I'd be done.
true.
But I'm not Batman, so
But then he is saved by
the Bat Ninja clan.
yeah. But can you explain to me, Dylan, how and where they came from?
No.
Okay. Because they tried, and
So aside from my pet theory, which is going to be my headcanon now, as much as you're not going to like this, I'm bringing it up.
don't do
I'm
it.
bringing it up. So I know a little bit about some comic stuff. Okay. One of those is one of the topics I know of is actually some Batman stuff. Not nearly enough as much as Ace here. You know way more about it than I do. Just immediately, I know that. But there's one set of comics that I do know a chunk about, and it was the Dark Knight's Metal.
Yep.
Where,
Actually have
where
those.
he gets sent back in time, and I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a thing where like he like ends up jumping between time spots, and I want to say there's like a cult or something that comes up from him, and like they have a prophecy or something about him, and in this movie there's a prophecy about a Batman that shows up and it looks just like him, and it's got his symbol, who's going to like save them from some clan fight, and he shows up. So I was like, Ace, is this technically connected to the Dark Knight's Metal? And he was like, no, don't you say that.
Yeah, I say absolutely not. So here's how much of a hypocrite I am, right? Like I am not a fan of the Dark Knight's Metal. I
feel like it was kind of tropey.
Well, not only that, but it's super convoluted. And
See, I like stuff like that though. I can't help it. I'm just like, oh wow, this really complex. Whatever. Let me dive into it.
I can go on naming things about it. I think it's just fucking Scott Snyder, who I think is a really good writer, just writing his masturbatory fantasies about this weird ass story but
it was way over the top.
It was super over the top, right? I have both of the Omnis on my bookshelf.
I'm gonna be honest. Even though I've watched most of a series of videos on it, I don't know if I could sit down and read them.
It's the reason I have it is because the artwork is fantastic and some of the tie-ins are really good.
Okay.
The core story I can do without, but some of those tie-ins are really interesting. Like seeing how some of the bad people came about.
Like the evil ones.
Yeah, like there's the Devastator, which is like the Doomsday version of Batman. That one was super interesting.
The Batman Who Laughs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the
Red Death.
yeah. I was like, I knew you would. I knew you knew which one I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like the red something.
Yeah.
That one was cool. Although, didn't he
yeah.
get like strapped to the front of the?
Yes, he did.
That was fucking weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
a lot of his weird. Anyway, yeah. So leaving that weird thing alone, going back to this weird thing.
can we go back? Actually, I don't know. I kind of like that one more.
I can actually follow this weird thing a little bit easier than Dark Knight's Metal.
I think you're saying that just because there's bigger plot in this one.
There are titties in this.
For those who don't know that joke, I don't know how you wouldn't know that joke, but in the stereotype for anime is that there are a lot of large-breasted females in it, which I cannot say is a falsity. But there are many memes where it says, "Oh yeah, I watch anime for the plot," and then there's just plot written over top of tits. So there's your explanation for that.
Yeah,
I will always call them plot.
And this is like one place where like the comic books and the anime like do like the Predator handshake, because it was like doing it for the plot and then just titties.
100%.
Yeah.
There are. I'm fairly sure they added the 3 women in this specifically to draw skimpy outfits on them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like I guess with Harley, she could be in it or not. It doesn't really change that much of the plot,
Well, I mean, she's always there with Joker now. Mm-hmm. That's just gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
But like Ivy had 3 scenes.
Yep.
Catwoman, honestly, Catwoman could have been there or not. She really did nothing for the plot.
Yeah, she betrayed the team, but then she didn't.
And then she portrayed the other team.
Yeah, but then she didn't. It was
the
weird.
only thing she did was get Batman to Alfred.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
That's the only relevant thing she did. Mm-hmm. But back to our summarize. This is where things are going to speed up a whole lot.
Oh yeah, we just mentioned the Bat Clan cult people.
So yeah, there's a whole Bat cult clan of ninjas who have a valley shaped like the bat symbol.
Yeah.
First off,
imagine being that guard in there, like, God damn it, I gotta fucking.
He had to have somebody up on that hill doing signs with flags. So like, no, you need to make that this way. But this is also where we see the rest of the Bat family.
Oh dear Lord.
Most of them look great.
Yeah. Nightwing with his Vegeta.
Nightwing looks sick as fuck with
He does.
his black Vegeta hair. Mm-hmm. Fucking Red Robin.
Yep, Red Robin.
Cool.
He looks cool in this.
Yeah. When we eventually see Red Hood.
He's. Is this a joke calling him a basket case?
I hope
he's
so.
Because
he's got those tall basket head things.
Yeah, and it's red.
And then we have
Damien.
Robin.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell me about Robin, bud. Robin, not Robin.
Damien in this movie. I'm going to start off with like the least disturbing thing first.
His monkey.
He's first of all, his pet monkey. It's
Komichi.
Mokichi. It was whatever it
Monachi?
was. This thing was.
I'm not looking it up.
It's not worth it. He's got a tiny pet monkey that understands
him
and wears
He's really
clothes.
smart, apparently. I mean, granted, it's a cute monkey.
Listen, man.
I do like the if the monkey hadn't been next to him every scene, I would have liked this monkey.
I gotta be honest, man. The monkey bothered me maybe more than it should have, but I'm like.
But did it bother you more than the other thing?
So the other thing that's going on here is Damien's fucking hair. Okay, so to describe his hair, first of all, so he's got the skullet, so that means so first of all, just imagine a skullet, which is like a skullet is when you're completely bald on the top and center, but you got like the sides and the back, right? So he's got that, but there's more. So in addition to the skullet, he's got a weird halfway mohawk tuft of hair in the front. Now, I thought at first it was a full mohawk going down the center of his head. It's not. It is a tuft of a mohawk in front, right? And then another smaller tuft in the very back. And so it's this weird Mad Max Hulk Hogan looking monstrosity of a hairdo on his head, and every time he's on screen he might as well be Charlie Brown because I can't understand the fucking thing he's saying because I'm too distracted by the hair.
Okay. I'm sorry if you guys heard me dying over. I tried really hard not to. I was doing breathing exercises. So the only explanation I have for this hair, which is not a good one, is that in feudal Japan they had a really weird top knot style haircut, but it didn't have the fucking bangs. And first off, I actually always hate this hairstyle anyway. I think it's dumb looking because they shave that skull.
I've seen that, yeah, and then they got the
And
top
they have
knot.
the little top knot.
Yeah.
Now Robin had the top knot thing, but he just still had the fucking bangs.
Yeah.
And it just made it look 10 times worse.
Oh my
And
goodness.
He looked like an old dude.
Yeah.
He looked like a tiny old man.
Yeah. He looked like the most stressed out 40-year-old divorcee 10-year-old. You know, it was weird.
There were a good 2 to 3 times where we actually had to pause it, rewind it, and watch the scene again because we were so distracted by hating his hairstyle.
Yeah, his hair was ridiculous. But I do like your other reason for his hairdo, which is the creators must have just hated Damien.
Yeah.
Which is why they gave him that
That's the
ugly-ass hair.
It's the only thing I can think of. Is like,
Yeah.
why would you do this to somebody?
I know, like, come on, he's like a 13-year-old kid. Give him a break.
Like, he might be a little asshat, but no one deserves that.
No one deserves that. But it is important to note here that for this scene, we haven't gotten to Red Hood yet. They've mentioned him a couple times, but he hasn't shown
in
up.
that scene, actually. But I just said Red Hood early because I wanted to avoid this haircut.
Yeah. Yep.
I think never mind. I want to move past this fucking haircut.
Yeah.
But after that, Batman does more Batman things where he like broods for a while and then goes and tries to do shit his own way. Fuck, what happens next?
We get to the boat scene.
Yes,
Yeah.
the ship fight scene where he goes and talks to Grodd.
Yep.
He goes and talks to Grodd in the hot springs, which another check mark. Hot scene. Hot springs scene.
Yep.
Granted, there were no females in this one, which
There could have been. We don't know what those other monkeys were.
that's fair. There were no human females in this. There were a bunch of monkeys in the hot spring and Grodd, who was drinking sake, and eating a cut up banana. So Grodd teams up with Batman because he's like, I want to get home, which I can't actually fault Batman on this one.
Yeah.
I would want to get home too.
Yeah.
He's like, we need to
And
team up
Grodd's the
together
only
to
one who
defeat-"
knows how to use the shit.
Yeah. So like, even though Batman's like, of course he's gonna betray us later on, but yeah, we'll go with it. All right, that is for the first forgivable Batman does Batman things.
Yeah.
So then they are alone on this little boat in the next scene you see after they talk, where Grodd's just chilling in this boat, this little like pole pushed boat, with a dude who's wearing like the reed outfit that covers him entirely.
Yeah.
But there's 2 little fucking things poking up in the middle of it that I'm like, that's Batman. We're like 30 feet back.
Yeah.
I can barely see him. That's Batman.
Yeah, you already know. That's Batman. Yeah.
And they roll up on Joker's weird
Giant
boat
ship.
yacht thing.
Yeah.
And then Joker reveals some plan that apparently he was going to let Grodd live because if he gave Batman to him and he's like, well, where's Batman? And we looked at each other and we're like, what? He's right there.
Yeah. And then this scene was utterly pointless too because Batman goes, "I'm right here, Joker."
Yeah,
And then we're
throws
like,
the stuff off. Like you literally dressed up like that just to be, ha.
"Yeah, it's a surprise, motherfucker." But he doesn't do anything. Like the whole point of like being incognito or in disguise is to get the drop on people.
And he didn't even do that.
No.
He literally still stood there.
Yeah.
And then Joker pulled out all the fucking guns. in the world.
Everyone kept putting down fucking stupid ass Uno reverse cards.
Yeah, it was. I mean, granted, this whole scene was cool.
It was.
It was a haha, you thought this. Haha, you thought this. Haha, you thought this. Haha, you thought this. And eventually, Grodd betrays them, which
Yeah.
I think is even brought up by Joker that he was going to do. Mm-hmm. There's a cool fight scene. This is the scene where Catwoman kicks the shit out of Harley's face.
Harley maybe gets it the worst in this movie in terms of ass whippings.
Like, you see the red mark and everything, but...
Oh, yeah.
And we don't mean she kicks her repeatedly. No, there's one kick that you see, and we both went, oh, fuck.
It was a Chuck Norris worthy roundhouse kick to the side of the face that just beautiful. Joe Rogan would have commentated that MMA fight with spectacular colors. It was just chef's kiss.
It was great.
I felt bad for Harley, even though she was a bad guy in this movie. I was like
through and through, she was crazy as shit.
Yeah, but I was like, God damn!
Like up
You
until
gotta
that point,
you gotta shoot a motherfucker if they kick you like that.
like I don't think she deserved it yet. And that sparked this weird side fight where every time those two were together, they just fucking fought each other. Which
Right.
I understand that now.
Oh yeah, you kick me in the face like that.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, maybe not with my fist, but I'm coming
Yeah.
for you.
But a fight scene happens is the only way I can really say this. And then Grodd betrays him. Two-Face shows up. They start to blow up the fucking ship. And Joker and Harley suicide bomb it.
Yep.
Which anime reveal stuff, no one actually fucking dies.
Yeah, so there were 3 people left on the boat because the Robins had gotten off. Batman wasn't gonna leave without Joker and Harley because
Which is dumb.
yeah, and so the boat explodes from like the fiery fucking room powder bombs.
That thing exploded way too big.
It did.
I don't know
It
what
was
the fuck they had in that
huge.
bitch.
Yeah, but like you said, anime rules and
Yeah.
and admittedly comic book rules. They survived the explosions.
Yep. Oh, all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. And
Spoilers.
and so Batman comes to 2 days later. He's been nursed back to health by Alfred.
Actually, I love my joke on this one. In this scene where I was like, man, if Batman was any more hurt, Alfred probably would have just rolled up and fixed everything.
Oh yeah.
Would have just came through with that shotgun he had in the
Oh
one
yeah.
scene. And then,
Yeah.
time to take out the trash, Mr.
Yep.
Wayne.
Oh yeah, that would have been fucking perfect. He probably still has it with him in feudal Japan.
Probably.
Too. Yeah.
He just never used it.
Yeah. But I think this is when we cut to the Red Hood segment.
Yeah, after like a weird talking scene, they cut to the take on me fucking
That's right. I
music
said
video animation style thing.
that was the only way I could describe this scene.
It fits it perfectly.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, I was like, this shit looks like Aha Take on Me.
Just
And then it just proved me right.
right after you said that, it went to the black and white thing. I'm like, holy shit. But I will give this scene this. Aside from the weird eye strain that I had to sit through for that. I mean, you did too, but this is the one time that I have seen in any Batman anything where, as audience, I say something, and then about like the sneak attack that's about to happen.
Yep.
And then the character in the show catches it as well and just starts beating ass.
Yep.
Which, granted, I thought that was actually wrong after a second, but turns out Joker and Harley both lost their memories. We picked up on the voicing for them and the shape of Joker's face and hair.
Yeah.
But Red Hood starts beating the fuck out of them.
Man, that first fucking right cross he hits Joker with, that shit was tough.
we're like, oh wait, this is not them. There's no way this is them. What the fuck? These are just two poor people who do happen to sound like them.
I was so confused because at first I was like, because with the change in animation styles and with like Joker and Harley acting weird, I was like,
And
is this
Harley's
a...
hair color was
Yeah.
entirely different.
I thought it was like maybe a flashback at first.
I thought it was back in time whenever he was first
Yeah,
showed.
yeah.
So at least I'm not the only one who thought that. And then he I'm pretty sure he's literally about to kill one of them.
Oh yeah,
With his weird bamboo gun.
yeah.
And then
He has a
Batman
bamboo
shows up.
gun.
Yeah, he has 2 bamboo guns. They're like pistols that you can shoot multiple times. But Batman shows up and does Batman things. And it turns out this actually is Joker and Harley.
Yeah.
Which I was a little confused about, but this animation style was hurting my brain anyway, so I think it just kind of like glossed it over. And this is the unforgivable Batman does Batman things too.
Yep.
Where he's like, I know the look of evil in his eyes. This isn't him. He's fine. We'll come back for him later. Like, no.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so granted, for this 2-minute segment, Batman was right because Harley and Joker, like due to the explosion or whatever they had,
They actually lost the memories.
yeah,
Again. Not for this movie again,
Yeah.
but for in general again.
But I'm like, okay, I understand that, but at least keep them close so you can keep an eye on them.
Walk off on them.
Yeah,
Because literally immediately after they leave, Joker like wipes his nose, his bloody nose, and then paints a red smile on his face and starts laughing, and we're like, motherfucker.
God damn it. What was it? The ad? No, it was the flower that brought.
We find out
Batman.
later on
Yeah.
that the flower, which I actually pointed out the flower as one of the most commonly used flowers in anime.
did.
I cannot remember the meaning of it. There is a meaning. Viewers, I'm only picked for this role because I happen to watch a lot of anime. I am not actually an anime expert.
Yes, you are. Stop saying
No,
that.
I lied on the resume.
God damn. You need to do a better vetting process.
But yeah, we find out later it was like the flower apparently made him fucking insane again. Guys, I don't know.
Like, restored the memory. The flower is a real catch-all.
Turns out it was also a flower that Ivy made because it's got like a Joker head pod on the bottom of it.
It's very weird, yeah.
But okay, after they get all the fucking group together, and Red Hood keeps that fucking hood thing on.
He keeps it on the whole movie too.
He lifts it once to kind of look at him, and that's it.
Yeah.
After that, we find out that Grodd.
The Four Nations, the Fire Nation.
Oh no! That doesn't happen just yet.
Okay.
Fucking yes. We skip 2 months because Batman realizes that he doesn't need to rely on his tech and he wants to learn the martial arts way or the ninja way.
But we were like, that's how you started.
Yeah, Batman knows that already. If you were like, I want to learn their specific ninja ways, then yeah, sure. You don't know how to fucking control bats.
Right.
But like you are like, a ninja, my guy.
Yeah, but like learning literal ninjutsu, you know that.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, 2 months pass, and turns out Grodd took over Joker's area. At this somewhere in the like halfway point from what we've explained so far, they also revealed who all. Actually, no, this was whenever fucking Catwoman shows up the first time. She explains how everybody took over a section of Japan. Yeah. And as we're going through this, we were like, "This movie's only like 80 minutes long, right? How are they going to get through all this?" Turns out they didn't.
They didn't. Yeah.
They ignored like 4 of them, like we said they were going to.
Because the way that, like you just said, when they first introduced the fact that there's like 4 different giant factions, and then there's Joker, it looks like a video game, right?
Yeah.
Where like Japan is segmented into 4 sections, and then there's Joker at the head of it. So it looks like
you got to work your way up through all this bullshit, and then get to him.
Yeah.
No, they just kept fucking with the fight at the end,
right?
Because it was Ivy had a section, and Penguin had a section, and they always fought.
Yep. Two-Face
and
Deathstroke
had a section. They always fought, and then Grodd just had a section, I guess, and didn't really, but kind of, I guess, was against Joker's section.
Yeah, but I guess he and Joker were initially working together though.
But they didn't have the same area.
Yeah.
So like it was 6 different areas,
right?
And they went over 2 of them.
Well,
yep. One and a fourth of one because he just went over to the hot springs once.
Yep.
And then, like we said, this is where it gets real weird. Because after that weird, non-explained art style change and then change back, it's 2 months later.
It's like the weird art director. He had to go to lunch he had to go jury duty that week, and they had fucking left-handed Dave to do all the artwork.
It was such a stark change.
Yeah.
And then, what fucking happened next?
What did happen next?
What caused this? Because like they were gonna have like a massive show.
Oh, did we mention that Catwoman sided with Grodd?
Catwoman sided with Grodd, and then there was gonna be this weird all 5 of them in their castles were like, oh, we're gonna have a fight.
Yep.
We're gonna finally just all duke it out, and they all activated their moving castles.
That's right.
They were set in different ways.
Yep. All of them have moving giant buildings of sorts.
Mech building things.
Yep.
And at the start, I was like, okay, Ivy's at least makes the most sense because it was like being like moved by roots and vines and shit. Later on, she has metal fucking parts, which does not make sense to me. But whatever. We find out later that Grodd like influenced all of them into making one.
Yeah.
Makes a little more sense, I guess.
How did that conversation go, I wonder?
He probably slipped like through intel and all that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so-and-so's making a thing, so-and-so's making a thing. So he just sent a letter to each of them saying the other ones are making something and just let him do it probably.
I guess.
It would work.
Yeah. But it just seems like, isn't he the only one who would have the ability or the intelligence to make some shit like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Deathstroke, maybe?
Yeah.
But I feel like he just uses tech more than makes it.
Right, yeah. So
Joker could pull some bullshit off like that.
You know what else has a fucking mech in it? Literally the opening pages of the prologue to Dark Knight's Metal, and I hated that shit.
Holy shit, it does?
Yes, it does.
Hey, buddy, this is really connecting a lot.
Stop. No.
You're the one that brought this up.
I wish I fucking didn't. Yeah, they form a fucking Voltron like, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be bad.
Wait, in Dark Knight's Metal?
Mm-hmm. Very beginning of it. Yeah.
This is definitely connected. This is definitely connected. Because viewers, well, listeners, fast forward a smidgen after they start their fight, and the Batman troop shows up and starts their fight. Grodd apparently secretly set up nodes to like mind control all of the other top villains and starts lining their mechs up with his. And I was like, they're fucking not. There's no way they're going to have a fucking kaiju mech fight thing and then make a Power Rangers thing, which sparked the Super Sentai thing, because it was very much that. And then Joker saves us. Right?
Yep.
Joker, we were like, he was about to put the last little tile down, and I can't remember the name of that
yeah.
game, but he's about to put the last tile down and complete the thing, and Joker shows up and stops it, and I was like, thank you, Joker. Thank you. And then he fucking does it.
And then Joker does it instead of Grodd.
Because all of them are still under mind control, because I guess Grodd wasn't the one doing it.
It seems like when he put the pieces down, it activated the mind control.
Even though Joker put the other ones down. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they turn into a giant 5-part mech thing.
And by the way, so this turns into technically a Joker mech, because Joker, when he first invaded Grodd's mech, the moving house castle thing, Joker did it in a hot air balloon, and the hot air balloon had Joker's face on it. As the hot air balloon goes down, the tapestry, of the hot air balloon covers the head of the mech, so it looks like Joker. You now have a giant fucking Joker mech. And now, at this point, for me, like my faith,
I was checked out.
Yeah, oh, me too. Like my faith in this movie had tumbled down the hill, and I kept saying, well, it can't get worse from here.
This is the top. This is it. This is the top. And I'll give it this. The fight scene just before this that we glanced over was actually super cool.
Oh, yeah. It was.
The mech fight, it was over the top, and I was like, really? They're fucking doing this shit?
Yeah.
But it was cool looking.
Yeah, it was.
But
Batman, the Bat family, they're all like these kites that are sailing through the air.
Yeah, they're like kite launched themselves off of their horses that also had mask coloring matching theirs. And, then float around. They float for way too long, but anime logic. As they're flying around these mechs that are fighting each other, Two-Face has a way more sophisticated Buddha mech than any of the others, which does not make sense to me.
It doesn't, yeah.
But whatever. It was also super creepy. And then, they form the five, the mech combination thing. And then this is where it starts to get really weird. And I know what you're thinking. But Dylan, it was... Yeah, we thought that too.
Yep. It gets weirder
because Grodd, having been kicked out of it as it got taken over, was saved by Batman and the Bat family from falling to his death with their gliders. They all teamed together to get him, and then Red Hood picked up Catwoman because he knew his priorities. And Grodd gives Batman the flute that controls all of the army of monkeys or apes or whatever you want to call them, and they stand there for a really long time as Grodd's just like, take this.
This was super anime to me,
and he's just like, I promise it's not actually a thing. And then Batman grabs it. I was like, first off, either trust him or don't.
Yeah,
just grab it already or not. An actual mech battle is happening behind you.
You need to do something.
Actually, no, it wasn't happening yet. Because Joker took a fucking nap.
Yeah, once Joker activated the mech suit and basically claimed victory, he just
literally took a nap.
Yeah,
he actually laid in the cockpit and snoozed. Like, this isn't a joke. Motherfucker had the anime snot bubble sleeping thing and everything, which I thought was a funny touch, but whatever. Yep. And when Batman takes the flute, fucking Robin shows up, and he keeps showing up in the back of the scene. And every time I see him, I'm like, can he just not be in the scene?
Right?
Could you just scoot him? Just scoot him. And with the cute monkey on his shoulder, and he's just like, can we have the flute? Trust me. And I was like, why?
I know.
But then he starts to play it by holding it with both hands, blowing into it, and the monkey is standing on it and working the holes.
Yep. Well, that sounded way dirtier than it should have.
It did, but I just keep thinking of what actually happened, and I'm happy about it.
Like the monkey's actually like covering up each hole as Robin is blowing into the flute, and they're in tandem
Playing
the
perfectly.
Flute. Yeah.
And then, an army of fucking apes/monkeys in armor.
It's got to be hundreds of thousands, maybe
A
millions.
fuck ton of them.
Yeah.
Come up and start like climbing up on this giga mech thing.
Yep. Start attacking Joker's giant mech house.
Who just starts swinging and they can't hold on, which is a little weird because they're monkeys and that's kind of like their point. But then a random other tiny Robin monkey who has a bow,
it's a female. Yeah.
Shows up, and then the monkeys just like convinces Robin to have play again and have her also help. Mm-hmm. And then they form.
All of the other monkeys come together like the Beatles, and they form
a giant tiny monkey.
I don't know what to say. They form, as Dylan said, a giant, tiny monkey.
And
like
it looks creepy.
They're all like together.
Like they have armor and like a backing armor, and they're like they get in line and then lock in, and like it kind of almost looks cool, but it was so over the top.
And then at this point, you're also thinking, what the literal fuck does any of this have to do with Batman?
I stopped trying to think that a long time before this. So at this point, Joker's awake. He's attempted to fight, and like Harley is manning the gun in the chest of this giant mech thing, and they shoot a fireball at it. And I was like, oh shit, how are they going to do this? They're going to dodge or something. No, the thing stands there, opens a hole in its own head, so the fireball just goes through. No, it was a missile.
Missile, yeah.
So the missile just goes through it and blows up behind him, and then they just back together. And they start to kind of fight. No, I don't even think it fights. It just fucking stands there for a while. And then Harley throws fire at it.
Right, and then a bunch of the monkeys start to die.
Which was so fucked up.
I was like,
we were like, Jesus.
Yeah, I was like,
they picked up all of the Bat family.
Yeah.
They picked up all the Bat family. It was about to move the Bat family onto the giant mech thing, which I think was still kind of weird to do. Mm-hmm. And then the fire happened, and then they just like covered the Bat family and just started sacrificing themselves. It was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But then
I'm
gonna let you go for it.
Then the Bat Clan, they show up again. Remember those guys from earlier, the guys who worship Batman for some weird vague prophecy
and
they
have
mentioned.
Powers to control bats.
And they have powers to control bats, yes. Very important to note because that's exactly what the fuck they do. They
full on Castlevania style. They summon all the fucking bats in the area.
All of the bats in the area. And then the bats form with all of the monkeys. And then when they are done forming, they have made... You see that picture of Batman up there, Dylan? The one of the Detective Comics poster?
Yep, that looks real similar.
They form into the Batman, but not... They form into a shape of Batman that is literally from Detective Comics, issue 27, 1939 Batman. It looks just like... Or that picture right there. That's an even clearer picture. Yeah. They form into that Batman. And there's no rhyme or reason as to why or how, they just do. And so now we have a giant, sentient Batman made of monkeys and bats.
Which, with the monkeys, you could kind of see the where they clicked together. That it wasn't like a natural. This looked just like a gigantic, actual Batman.
Yeah. And at this point, I was flabbergasted. I was.
We had nothing.
Yeah. What am I supposed to say to that?
I think I did say something, and I was like, I got nothing on this guy. Like, I can't even explain this. This is just too extra. And then they're still in his right hand, and he closes sand around them. I was like, all right, cool, that could happen. And then he starts to like punch at the Joker's thing.
Yep.
As the Joker's thing starts punching at him, and they punch each other's fists with the Bat family in there. And I was like, they're dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Even in like anime logic, they're dead. But then he punches through the arm and into the head of the fucking thing.
Of the Joker mech, yep.
Opens his hand, and Batman jumps out into him.
Yep.
But before this, it almost alluded to the fact that Batman was controlling this giant Batman thing.
Because Batman's doing the anime yell as the punch is happening.
And he's punching in the same way.
Yeah.
And then Joker's also kind of doing that for the mech. And then Joker and him have like a weird 2-second fight. To which Joker gets pinned against the wall with kunai. And then Joker out Batman's Batman?
That was weird, right? Again, the animator, he was just taking random spots off. Because at this point, Batman is literally looking directly at Joker, okay?
In an empty room.
Yeah, it's just those two. Batman is looking right at Joker, and Joker just disappears.
And Batman goes, huh?
Well, yeah, what the fuck?
And then Joker's just laughing, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Did you blink?
Yeah.
But did you just take a snooze? You were facing him.
Right.
You didn't walk. You've stood in the same spot. You've watched him stand in the same spot. Neither of you moved. And then he just disappears into the ceiling and starts throwing shit at you. And then, fuck, what happens next?
Yeah, I was trying to remember. Like, I think at this point we were both so fucking brain dead.
And so much happened. Yeah. I think the rest of the family was fighting other people. Yeah, each of the Bat family was fighting a villain.
That's right. So we had Damien fighting Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy, which we made the joke that he hasn't hit puberty, and that's why.
Yep.
Red Hood fought
Two-Face.
No.
He fought
Deathshot.
Deathstroke.
Sorry,
Yep.
different one, different gun person.
Yep.
And I was like, oh,
That
well,
makes
he's the only
sense.
one that has a gun, so that's why.
Yep.
And then he told him to take the first shot first off. Never do that.
Why would you tell that to Deathstroke of all people?
Like, no.
Then we had Red Robin. He fought Penguin.
He fought Penguin, yep.
Or was it?
Wait, did Nightwing fought Penguin?
Nightwing fought Penguin. And
Red Robin was
Two-Face.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Harley and
Catwoman.
Catwoman had another face-off. I think this was like their third.
It's on site for them.
Yeah. She did make a funny joke on one, I think it might have been this one, that it was a little girl-on-girl action. And we had just made the cat fight joke. Mm-hmm. And they said that, and I was like, holy shit, this is so meta.
And then just a few scenes later, like Harley is licking Catwoman's face.
I guess a cut or something. She just licks her, and like we were just like, Jesus.
Like, whoa, all right. This is what we're doing here.
Obviously, all the villains get mopped up pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And I guess they like shut the thing down. I guess whenever each of them get knocked over, it like falls sort of forward and catches itself. But then the climactic rooftop scene, which another check mark.
Yep. Well, somehow like everything catches on fire.
I think it's because this shit was like burning.
Yeah.
The monkeys were going through and breaking everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Even though the Batman was still there.
Yeah.
That Batman was there for a while. And, which by the way, the Batman looked identical to the 1939 Batman.
It's fucking weird.
Face and everything.
Yeah.
But in this fight, and we've talked about this fight a little bit, but in this fight, it has the stereotypical, they're on each side of one roof.
Yep. Long pause
talk. They each draw their swords. Mm-hmm. Joker's sword is more of a cutlass, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
Which is a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
He like throws his sheath at Batman as he does it, and Batman just like knocks that shit out the way, which was kind of cool. But I was like, what did you? You didn't even run after it. You just did that.
Yeah, you at least ran after you do it. Yeah.
He literally was just like, ha!
I thought that would work. Yeah.
And they have a really cool fight. I mean, it was cool.
It was cool. Besides the things that we mentioned earlier about like that blade is made out of the same material as the bullet that shot JFK. Because like, what the fuck happened?
I don't know, dude. Because like, admittedly, in between some of this weird stuff, there's really cool fight scenes.
It's
very anime fight scenes.
This is admittedly a very cool fight scene. You just have to ignore the lack of
explanation.
Logic. Yeah.
So as they're fighting, blah blah blah, they go through their faces, blah blah blah. I'm sorry. Let's rewind real quick. Mm-hmm. The song that formed the Batman that was played on the flute.
Oh yeah, that's right. It took me a while to pick up on what they were playing, and then I
didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, after a while, I realized the song they were playing on the flute. I was like, Dylan, this is the Batman theme song. It was na 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 da da.
And on a flute, when you pointed it out, I was like, holy shit, you're right. But I would not have picked it up otherwise. And that was the, play the theme song to get stronger, check mark. Mm-hmm. And after Batman went all, hey, sexy mama, let me whisper in your ear, up to Joker. He just started beating the fuck out of him.
Oh, yeah.
No sweat.
It's like once the swords were gone, Batman was like, all right.
And so whenever he first did it, we were like, all right, whatever. But Batman's done weird shit, like falling off a building and showing up behind somebody. Okay, it can be kind of forgiven.
Sure.
But then in the next scene, he's jumping at Joker, and Joker, like, hits him with, I think, the half of a sword still or something. I don't know. He tried to hit him with something, and then Batman just literally turns into a puff of fucking bats.
Bats, yeah.
He does it, like, twice. And I'm like, when did he learn this?
Right.
What is happening?
Like, he literally, like, metamorphed into a group of bats, and then
he full-on, like, vampire style turned into a swarm of bats.
Right.
I almost made the joke, like, 3 times. Is Batman a fucking vampire now?
You're right.
And then he comes from off the roof up in a like weird flock of bats. Mm-hmm. He's floating there and starts doing the fucking hand signs. Yep. And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, and after he does the hand signs, like the screen pauses and it just goes, what did it say again?
Batman Ninja.
Yeah.
The one you're talking about was whenever they were riding towards the mechs, and it was Son Goku Batman.
Yeah.
Which I looked up, and it was what was it? Battles Through the Countryside.
Yeah, that's Battles Through the Countryside Batman. Yeah.
Which was like the prophecy name for him or something.
Right.
But back to they re-bring that kind of back, and it's Batman Ninja, and we were like, hey, they did the thing where they said the title.
Yeah.
That's not an anime check mark. That's just a check mark. And then he just finishes beating up Joker, and they like mop up everything and teleport the whole mess back to Gotham.
Yeah, like that entire mess they teleport back to Gotham. So like I guess just a little bit more of an explanation for the ending there. Okay. After Batman beats the shit out of the Joker, like the Joker is, he
drops him off the roof.
Yeah, he drops Joker off the roof because Joker says, you won't do it, you're too good. And then Batman drops him, but then he throws like the kunai with the rope around it and saves him.
Holy shit, you know what I just realized?
What's that?
The back of those kunais do not have a proper circle.
Huh.
How the fuck did that work?
Well, he's Batman.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I will give them this. The Joker, as he was falling, was like, he did it! And then as he got caught, he just like yelled in frustration.
Right. But then after that, they were able, because they had, I guess, all the proper shards and all the proper places.
Oh, and, the fucking time machine thing that Grodd made was functioned off of 5 time shard things.
Yep.
We assume they're time shard things.
They call them power capacitors or some shit.
Whatever. They're time shard things.
Time shards.
They get all those, teleport everything back. We find out that like the building teleports with them.
Yep.
So I was like, that's just going to drop somewhere in Gotham.
Right. Like, and that's exactly what happened. And technically they were like, oh shit, like we're at like 79 minutes. We got to wrap it up.
Yeah. It's like, and we saw all of this last bit after the teleport in like the after credit scenes.
Yeah, like during the credits, as they were rolling, we saw like still images of like what was happening.
And all the villains were like tied up in ropes and brought in, which some of the ways that they tied some of them was suggestive.
You pointed this out to me, and I'm glad you did. I have a new kink unlocked. It was Poison Ivy.
Yeah, Poison Ivy was tied up in it. I didn't look it up because I kind of am scared to look that up.
Yep.
But I want to say the name of it is like Shibari.
I got you covered.
Yeah, you don't care if that's just on your search history.
I don't give a shit.
It's the art of tying with ropes, basically.
Shibari?
Yeah. But they had her like in the snippet of seeing how she's tied up.
Had to prove my own identity on Google. Say, are you a robot? What the fuck?
They're like, he does not look this shit up. This is too much for him. Are you?
Yeah, you're right. Shibari. Shibari 101. Let's talk about Japanese rope bondage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So-
That's how.
First off, very beautiful. It is an art form. Blah blah blah. Not what we're going on right now. But whenever I saw her tied
Oh
up,
boy, I did an image search.
what? That's why I was like, I'm not doing that right now. But the way they had her tied up was like that, and I was like, that was not necessary.
It was, and they did it very subtly to their credit because like the way that these still images were shot, it'd be like there were 3 different panels on the screen at the same time, and so like the Poison Ivy panel, like when she was tied up in that Shibari technique you were talking about, the image cuts off like right above the breast, and so you can tell that they're.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
And, like, if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't catch it. But I was
Right.
like, hold up. Pause and rewind that for a second. I was like, there's no fucking way they did that shit. And then we get like an after credit scene.
It was weird and unnecessary.
It was entirely unnecessary
Yeah.
because it brings up some dinner with the mayor that was never brought up before this.
And I'm like, okay, so how long have they been gone in Gotham time?
Probably nothing.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
because one of them was like, oh, I need to get back. 2
Yeah.
years is a long time. And I was like, well, yeah, but I mean, with time bullshit, you can literally just show
That's
right
true.
back
If
up.
you have a time machine, you can go back to this very moment you left.
Yeah.
So true.
Be like, bloop, done. But
Where and how and why did Alfred have that horse Batmobile?
So to get Batman / Bruce Wayne to said mayor, because Alfred just shows up while Batman's walking around
In an alley.
half feudal Batman outfit, holding a suit, says, "You're going to need this," and then he said that we're going to go in style or something like that. And behind him, you see 2 of the horses with masks on, and a conglomeration of the wheels of the Batmobile and a gigantic like carriage thing.
With the bat symbol on top of it.
Was it on top of it?
Yes.
Like the signal?
Well, not the symbol, but it was like
just
the symbol.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure which one because I did not look at that. I did see that on the back they had one of those little lanterns with the bat symbol on it. But
I'm like, why?
you know what I just realized?
What's that?
Bruce Wayne's going to step out of that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why?
And that's all that happens in this scene, except for the fact that as they're leaving, like you see the carriage and the horses going, and we see, we do see Catwoman selling the urn to get a chunk of cash.
Yeah,
we were like,
she's got an urn while she was off in feudal Japan.
and we were like, you know what, that makes sense.
Yeah.
She drives off, and then as it pans past her, leaving, the Batmobile carriage thing starts coming around from an alleyway, and we see a car that has Joker's colors on it.
It is green and purple.
The perfect colors. And it's got like bat stickers on the back of it and stuff. And we're like, and that's Joker right there. He's just sitting in that car. And we were wrong, I think. I hope.
I don't know. It was never confirmed.
But as the fucking carriage comes by, it just smacks the shit out of the car
Right.
and knocks it onto the curb.
Yeah. Like, goddamn.
That's
it. Yeah. And that's Batman Ninja.
We just explained it.
Yeah. So, I have a few interesting notes here. Let me get that off my search history here. So, remember how when we reviewed Justice League X Ruby, Superheroes and Huntsman,
I try not to.
yeah, we went over some of the reviews that people had for it, and putting it lightly, we differed from the people.
We did. And actually, while we're at this, I would like to say that I am actually very mildly concerned about Ruby's future.
Oh yeah, because Rooster Teeth, right?
Rooster Teeth got closed down, which I'm not shocked about that because Rooster Teeth went down pretty hardcore. But yeah, there's a chance there might not be any more Ruby. They're trying to sell it. I'm kind of hopeful, but it's whew. But
I feel like that's a property that'll get picked up.
Should.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 seasons. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Hopefully. But according to Wikipedia here, the film Batman Ninja received an approval rating of 82% based on 17 reviews, which with an average rating of 6.6 out of 10. And now what I'm about to say here really vindicates me because I've been talking shit about IGN for years. I think that they are fucking the goddamn worst when it comes to any type of thing that resembles nerd journalism or proper reviewing. Their ideals or the way that their whole metric is all fucked up, and I don't know how they come across their fucking scores. And this just further vindicates me. IGN awarded Batman Ninja a score of 9.7 out of 10, saying
What the fuck?
saying DC tried something new by bringing in visionary Japanese animators to offer a refreshing take on one of the company's most beloved characters, and the finished product not only built upon the great adaptations that have come before, but surpassed them.
No. No. They surpassed them in like extra.
Yeah.
Which I will actually say, I want to say there. We said that it was an art change. I want to say there were actually 2 different art changes. Because once Batman accepted his ninja-ness, there was a slight art style change again.
Yeah.
But I mean, the only thing that they said the only thing they could say up about that is that they brought in
Japanese animators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a good job.
Oh yeah, and we even mentioned that like the artwork in this movie is fucking chef's kiss.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the fight scenes are cool as hell.
Oh yeah, and I think that most of the designs for the characters are really cool as well. I mean, so cool
Your favorite
design.
was Robin, though, right?
You mean the first Robin, Nightwing? Yeah, I really like his a lot. God damn, why they do Damian like that?
Somebody hates Damian.
Has to. That's the only explanation for that. Holy shit!
I literally liked every other design.
Yeah, all the other ones were really cool.
Even Joker and Harley were appropriately over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Damian.
And then there's Damian. I don't even remember like what his outfit looked like. I just remember his fucking hair.
I know, like nose up.
Yeah.
Fuck, they did him so dirty.
Oh, it was so bad.
I don't even like Damian like that. Like, he's whatever.
Yeah.
He's just a snot-nosed little shit.
Right.
But he did not deserve that.
He didn't do anything to deserve that. God damn.
Fuck. You know, we have to get a snippet of it, like a picture, a screenshot of that,
Mm-hmm.
and send it to the others.
I think we should. I think whenever anyone, if they ever ask me or you about this movie, we should just put up a picture of Damien.
Just-
like, this is
just
my
straight
fault.
face show.
Yep.
And when they ask questions, you just shake your head.
Yep. So, here's the thing. It's time for final thoughts and reviews now as we wrap up this this review here. So, I can say this, right? Like, again, as I've mentioned
We've
a few
gone on
minutes
longer
ago,
than the movie,
we have. And that's also very typical.
especially for these.
Yeah. I think that I don't know how much the WB DC department had to pay IGN to give that baseless review. I don't know what fucking wannabe anime dweeb wrote that review and gave it a 9.7. I want you to understand, 9.7 out of 10, that's higher than what they gave to Dark Knight. You know what I mean?
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Even if it's close,
sure.
even
if it's
should
close,
not be near that.
Yeah. So, just fucking no consistency there. But anyways, not to just shit on them, but it's, in terms of my own thoughts on this movie's not all bad. Like, there is a good time to be had in parts for this movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It goes off the rails, and it at least commits to it.
Like, I would say, which is a little unfortunate because I'm the one that got pulled into this. If you are a comic book fan and you're not going to get too upset, and you have an anime fan as a friend, and they haven't seen this shit, pull them in, be like, look, we're about to watch a bad movie.
Yep.
It's going to be extra, but it's going to be bad. And you sit down and you just watch this movie with them, and you both lose your goddamn mind.
Yeah.
That's it. Just have a fun time with that. Because I had a great time watching
it. Oh, me too. Yeah.
We laughed so hard.
Yeah, we did. You know, we weren't. It'd be different, right, if we were expecting Infinity War walking into this movie. Yeah. But we already had an idea of what this movie was going to be. It still surpassed what we thought
by like 3 times.
Yeah.
But we knew it wasn't going to be good.
Yeah.
And you get the extra warning of, hey, the first half's going to make you relax a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't trust that.
Don't trust
It's
it.
going to get weird.
Yeah, you know how like your stomach's been feeling funny and like you let out a few farts and you're like, okay, I'm good, and then
This next one's going to be fine.
No.
You get to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what this movie is. All right.
That's a far too accurate description. Like, ooh.
It lulls you into that false sense of security, and then it smacks you with mech suits and monkeys and
And weird monkey mech suits and Batman.
yeah, and fucking disappearing blades and reappearing blades and reappearing Batman, and I mean it's
cool.
It is all over the place, and again you also have to put aside the fact that Bruce Wayne is kind of an idiot in this movie.
He's a little dumb.
Yeah.
But if you just turn your brain off, if you become that dumb, it'll be great.
Yeah, I think that there's still a fun time to be had here. Like, as ridiculous as the first mech scene was with the Joker mobile house and like the Batmobile constantly changing,
But it was still cool.
it was still cool though. I had a blast with that part. I had a blast with most of like the hand-to-hand fight scenes.
Oh
you know,
yeah, it was smooth. You
Yeah.
saw like the impact behind the person. There was one
Right.
scene when they were on the boat where Joker starts getting the shit kicked out of him, and we both went like, "Oh!"
yeah, it was like a ridiculous uppercut from Batman.
like right into his chest.
Yeah.
Like I think I saw the imprint of his hand coming out of the back of him. Like,
Right. And so, like, there was a lot of cool moments like that. But listen, if you're looking for, like, a cohesive story, if you're looking for, like, the perfect mesh and blend of anime with the comic book feel to it,
this ain't it.
this is not it. You got to check your brain at the door for this one. And you gotta watch this with friends, too, I think.
If I was alone, I would not have finished it.
Remember, I told you the first time I tried to watch this.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably got about to that weird animation shift, and you were like, "What the fuck?"
I don't think I made it that far. I think I made it to about the scene with the Batmobile.
Oh, the mech.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't even blame you on
Yeah.
that. If I knew nothing about anime, and because I want to say whenever he said the mobile house, I was like, he better not have a mech house. If I knew nothing about it and that shit just started happening in feudal Japan, I might stop it. I might have just stood up and left.
It's also interesting that besides the Bat Clan, we don't get any interaction with the people of Japan. It's like, it's just a setting. The people don't really matter that much.
They're just there.
Yeah. And they're even drawn differently. And like,
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, you know. So it was,
They're thankfully I don't think we see any of them get hurt,
yeah, we don't see them get hurt.
but some houses were flattened.
Oh, for sure.
A lot, like half a town was flattened by that fucking moving thing. Which you'd think you'd build it so there's like a really big way for you to just leave and not destroy your people.
Right.
Because I mean I know they're villains, but like you tax them.
Yeah, like
That's
the
your
economy's all fucked up now. Like building all these, imagine the cost of building those mech suits, and you got these people living like that. Come on,
Yeah, yeah.
Kinda
Granted,
fucked.
they didn't have like slums, but like you definitely did not help
yeah.
them.
But if I can provide myself a giant mobile fighting mech suit, and I have like 10,000 people to take care of, I should probably do something for them.
Or at least invent toilets.
And that's the very least I could do,
Because I'm pretty sure they didn't have toilets.
and that's unacceptable.
I'm gonna be honest. If I ever showed up like in a if I got like easy keyed, which for I might have brought this up before, but that's just like getting teleported to another world basically. Oftentimes after death. Truck Coon gets them all. But if I ever showed up in a time like that, I'd be like, oh, this is kind of cool. Fuck, toilets are gone.
Yep. God damn it. Yep. It's like that movie with Martin Lawrence, what's it called? The Black Knight, I think it was.
You know, I've never seen it.
Oh.
I've heard a lot about it though. I've heard it's really actually kind of fun and good.
It's a funny, it's stupid, but it's funny,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, because he works at like a Renaissance fair, you know, and he gets, you know, something happened, he gets knocked out, and when he wakes up, he's actually in that time period. And
Technically an easy key.
huh? Oh,
Technically an easy key. If he got teleported to a different time.
that's true. But there's one moment where like he still thinks that he's just in the Renaissance fair, right? But he goes to use the toilet, and you know he goes in
opens
there
up to a
and
toilet.
and it's just fucking flies and shit and just like yeah.
Which, by the way, Izuki, Izakai, I'm not sure which way to say it, but
Oh yeah, I mean you can say either or. It's like Naruto or Naruto. You can use either one. Both are acceptable.
You said rock twice.
Fuck you. And fuck that orange jumpsuit wearing motherfucker. All right.
I didn't think you could say it wrong another way. Oh, I love you, buddy.
Oh, okay. With that being said, my score for Batman Ninja is a 5.8 out of 10. It's not the worst thing you'll ever see, but watching it with friends and turning your brain off, I think you have a fun laugh with it.
Oh yeah. I'll give mine a 5.5.
Gotcha.
A solid. If I was watching it with almost anybody else, I don't think I would have liked it nearly as much.
Same, agreed.
But I got a lot of laughs out of it. I've got a few jokes out of it. I'm probably gonna bring back up.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna randomly be like, "Fucking Robin's haircut."
Robin's hair is the new baby Chewbacca from like the Star Wars Christmas special. How like both of those are just cursed images.
Yes. Fuck that face, dude. God.
Oh shit. Okay, well, guys, that's our review of Batman Ninja. A review 6 years in the making.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. I've always said this. Even if the movie isn't great, the reviews are always fun. And this movie, again, under the right circumstances, can be very fun. Maybe not in all the ways that the creators intended it to be fun. But hey.
I hope not. I hope they at least thought this was okay.
Right. But with that being said, guys, if you have any kind of questions, comments, gifts, threats, food, supplies for me or any of the other homies, you can hit us up at superherohomies@gmail.com or any of the social media outlets. I'm always active, live, and listening. But I think that's going to be all for now. So until next time, Dylan, I thank you again, my friend, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I could not have powered through this with anyone else. So I'm very grateful for you to be here. The homie Caleb straight out noped out of this one.
Yeah, did he use his thing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you have to hit him with another one then.
Oh, for sure. Got to hit him with the something.
We said there was another one on our list. We had like one more on our upcoming list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wanted to do My Pal Superman with us. So, yeah.
I let you choose the things. I just show up.
Yeah. Well, My Pal Superman is actually, I haven't seen it, but apparently it's a really good show.
Okay.
And it's almost like a slice of life done on like an anime type feel Superman animated show.
I'm gonna be honest. You're kind of losing me.
Yeah.
I'll still watch it with you, but like that sounds not good.
But listen, I'm with you. That's why I haven't seen it yet. But apparently, like all the reviews for it have been.
All the reviews for this were great too.
All right, so that's gonna be all for now. We'll see you guys again soon. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q,
And I'm Superhero Homie Dylan.